Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our 22 Rimfire journey, and if this is your first time, or if maybe you've forgotten already, don't worry, here's a quick recap. So we started with this bad boy, right? The 6mm Flabert, or more commonly known today as the 22 BB cap. And this was invented in 1845. It's got a 7.9mm casing and an 18 grain projectile. That's it. Just primer, bullet, ta-da, there's your whole cartridge. So then in 1857, Smith & Wesson decided to make it longer, right? So here we have the 22 Rimfire is what this was introduced as, and this one has a 10.7mm casing with a 29 grain projectile, and this has, I believe, 4 grains of powder is what it was initially made with anyways. So the 22 Rimfire today, still around, still in production, but you know it as the 22 Short. Gee, I wonder why they'd have to call it that. Stick around to find out. That's right, some of you have already guessed it, we did it again.
I think I did it again.
We took what we already had and made it a little longer, a little more powerful. So, in 1871, this came out. And this is the 22 Long. Hence why the 22 Rimfire had to be renamed into the 22 Short. Just to show the difference between the two. Now, this one has a 15.6mm casing. It still kept the same 29 grain projectile, and, hold on, I did say more powerful, right? So the Short has 4 grains of powder. The Long, they really bumped it up here, guys, had 5 grains of powder. But that's next up in line. We've got the 22 Long. So let's take it out to the range, shoot a few rounds, warm up the guns, and see how it goes. Hey guys, welcome back to the range. You may remember from a previous video, I recently got a second GoPro so we can do some close-ups of the target as I'm shooting. So we'll shoot a few rounds of some 22 Long just to get a feel for the guns, round, ammo, and let's see if I can get some slow-mo without shooting my GoPro. I forgot this little thing has no sights. Might have been too far away. let's see how it worked. One thing I don't think I mentioned while I was out there, all the ammo today that you see in this video is the CCI 22 long. It's the target, it's the copper plated round nose, and it's 29 grain, as is traditional, and according to CCI it is 1,215 feet per second. So let's whip out the chronograph and see if that holds true. First up, Heritage Barkeep. This is the 1-inch barrel, and again, no sights as you can see. I can't promise I'll hit the target. Alright, 1-inch barrel. Safety off. Let's see what she's got. Next up, our 6-inch Heritage Rough Rider Tactical Cowboy. Next up, our 9-inch Heritage Rough Rider. Alright, last but not least, our Ruger 1022 16-inch barrel. So the long doesn't feed from the magazine, so bear with me. And now, I'm going to single out one of the firearms for you. So, today I went with the Heritage Rough Rider Tactical Cowboy. And you've seen it in all the videos. It's my go-to 22 that I own if I'm out in, the woods. This is usually the one I'll have on me. It's the one that I help my landlord clear traps with. And just real quick. So the side gate opens here, and you give the hammer a little half cock, and then the chamber rotates freely, and you can see it is cleared for the record. Also, one notable feature of the Heritage Rough Riders, they do actually have a safety on them, which is not something you see on a revolver. But you can see in there this little plate that moves whenever you move the safety. And so when the safety is on, what it actually does is stops the hammer from being able to reach the firing pin. Whereas if you take the safety off, the hammer has full contact. Put it back on, it rotates and cannot reach the pin. So, neat little interesting feature. And then once you fire your rounds, obviously the brass stays in. That's part of a single action revolver. You do have your ejector rod built into the frame, like so. It'll eject your brass. Now for the weird parts that make the Tactical Cowboy different. At least traditionally, you don't really see Picatinny rails on a revolver. You're actually starting to see it more and more. Why not? Red dot on a revolver could be cool. I don't have any spare red dots to use. But it does still have a little notch right here that you can line up with the front sight, which you can still use it traditionally without the red dot. So that's a neat feature. It does have the fiber optic front sight, and I guess to go along with the tactical, it is threaded. So in theory, you could put a suppressor on it. To be honest, just because of how revolvers work, I have no idea if this will come through on camera or not. But there is, you'll see there's a thin gap between the cylinder and the barrel. So you get gases escaping from there anyways. And I feel like if you had a suppressor, that kind of builds back pressure, and so you'll probably get more gas escaping out of there. And honestly, if anything, it'll probably make it louder, at least for you. So it's fun, it's quirky, it may look cool to put a suppressor on there. Is it practical? Probably not. But you'll find out throughout time, many of the guns in my collection are not practical. I buy them because they're fun, they look cool, they're different, they're weird, or maybe they were used in a movie. I do like movie guns. But anywho, that is the Heritage Rough Rider Tactical Cowboy. It is chambered in .22 long rifle. Spoiler alert, that's a future video. And it's got a 6.5-inch barrel. The grips are, they're made to look like carbon fiber. I highly doubt that's real carbon fiber. Probably a hydro dipped. But anywho, let's go back to the range and shoot some more stuff. And now for the fun part. Let's get wet. This one worries me. Alright folks, you know what time it is. Let's go nuts. I've got 2 today. Normally I just do 1. I think this one might be rotten, so I'm gonna shoot it just to shoot it, but this will be the fun one. Alright, what will 22 long do to a coconut? Well, went in. It looks like it came out. And as I suspected, oh my gosh, actually, it did not come out. A little warm. But that got eaten up pretty bad. But that was certainly a rotten coconut. Alright, what does 22 long look like to a fresh coconut? Definitely fresher. Let's see. Definitely have an entrance hole. I don't see an exit hole, but I had no projectile come out either. Or if I did, I didn't see it. Anywho, definitely a fresher coconut. Feed the squirrels. Alright, now that we've had our fun with 22 long, let's go back to the workbench and tie this thing up. Well guys, that about wraps up our 22 long video. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. But as a thank you for sticking around, this is actually a double feature. So, on to the next episode. I can't have the same shirt in 2 different episodes. That's just cheating. So, the real reason I'm doing this is because the next step in our 22 Rimfire journey is kind of a baby one. Maybe one day in the future I can make a longer video on it, but for now the most I've got, it'd maybe be a minute and a half video, so I didn't want to tease y'all with a minute long video, so I'm just gonna tag it to the end of this one. So welcome. Quick recap, we've got the 6mm Flabert, the 22 short. Now you've seen the 22 long. So naturally, the next step in the evolutionary chain, you'll never guess what happens. Brittany, take it away. We did it again. We made it longer and more powerful. That's right. Welcome to the 22 extra long. So this round came out in 1880, and it has a 19.1 millimeter casing, a 40 grain projectile, so we did up the bullet this time, and just like last time, we went from 4 grains to 5 grains. It's got 6 grains of powder. And that's about it. They stopped making this round in the 30s. So it is truly obsolete. There are still guns out there that exist that is chambered for it. I'm sure there's some out there in functioning condition, but the ammo is next to impossible to find. I've found boxes. This is literally my only round. I bought an individual round. I've found boxes that were supposedly unopened in like the $300 to $600 range. I love you guys, but maybe not $600 for a box of an obsolete round that I don't even have a gun for. One day, maybe we'll get there. Hopefully I can revisit this round, but this is where it's at for now. But it is a link in the chain that leads us to the next step in our 22 Rimfire journey. It's the big one, the one you've all been waiting for, the one you grew up shooting, the one your grandpa grew up shooting, the one his grandpa probably grew up shooting, the one that put this one out of business. Tune in next time to figure out what it may be. Hint, it's probably the most well-known popular cartridge in the world, and probably what you thought this one was. Anywho, this time, for real, I promise. Thank you, appreciate you, love you, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. So I know someone's going to say something, so I'm just going to say it now. Yes, last time I yelled at the air conditioner for being on the whole time, and this time I let it run. I actually had it on purpose this time because bright, sunshiny day, that's when I wanted to film. That's part of what I've been waiting on. And because it's a bright, sunny day, my landlords decided it was the perfect day to go in my backyard and plant some flowers. So I actually rathered the AC over them talking, but is what it is. Back to your perfect transition, because I was gonna say back to your regularly scheduled blooper reel. Projectile, that's it. So that was, it's a hair. There's literally a hair. Deep breath, excited. Gotta get pumped. That worked swimmingly, son of a bitch. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Or fuck you. No, but seriously though, what am I choking on? But I did want to bring it to you because it is the gap filling the link filling the gap. Damn it. Did it again. We took what we had and fucked it up. Yay!